Okay, brother. So, last session, we proudly and gladly finished our training. Okay, now you can say
Okay.
that you are a beginner Java developer. Okay, but
Mhm.
today you have this session to talk more about your next steps. What's the next steps for you to become a professional programmer?
Mm.
Uh, Let me give you some uh, advice to you. And first, I want you to understand that the field of programming and software is very big, and there are many majors that come under programming or software track. Okay, so
Mhm.
what you learned in this course, it's not tied or related to any of these topics or tracks, but it's the general information or uh, essential skills that each and every programmer should have. Okay, and
Mhm.
still you are in the beginner level. Okay, these skills
Yeah.
or fundamentals could be taught in many other language other than Java. Like some they can learn the same skills using another language like C Sharp or Python or whatever language it is. The same skills and the same fundamentals will be the same. But I want to tell you that Java is one of the most uh, powerful and popular programming language in the world. And the situation is like that for years now. So Java is a very uh, competitive uh, language, very powerful language. Now you know the skills and the fundamentals of a beginner programmer, okay, in Java.
Yeah.
And what are the next steps? Let me ask a question. Do you think you have uh, all the essential skills needed for any programmer, or you still have some stuff missing?
The fundamentals are done. I know the fundamentals.
Yeah, let me tell you that there is still some other skills which considered essential for all programmers, but you still don't have it.
Mhm.
So yeah, this will be your very next step right after this training that you should move
Mhm.
on to finish the other essential skills that you should gain as a beginner programmer. So what are
Oh,
these skills?
the
First,
heap,
you have
stack,
any
stack,
you have
heap,
any idea?
stack and heap.
I don't hear you. You can send me in chat.
Stack and heap.
Stack and heap?
Mhm. And
No,
garbage collection.
no, you are talking about a very specific topic, but no, I'm talking
Garbage collection.
on a wider view, okay,
Mhm.
uh, higher level, okay.
Um, and
You learned about coding and
oh yeah,
how yeah
enums,
how to structure your code.
enums
You
too.
learned about object-oriented programming and some of the you know very little about data structure, very little about exception handling. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So this is what you know right now, but you still need some other skills like network. You should know the basics of networking, like protocols, uh, IPs, uh, DNS, uh, VPNs, uh, uh, proxy, packets, APIs. These are also essential skills you as a programmer should know. So this is your next step, about basics of networking. Okay. What
Okay.
else? What else you should also know is database. I think you have no
Enum,
idea. You have no idea about database. You should learn a database because it's very important
SQL,
for
like
all
SQL.
programmers. Yeah, to know database. But database, we have not only one type of database, but we have some types of database. You asked me before about SQL. SQL is one type of database. We have some other types of database, like we have NoSQL database. Okay, we have some other new but not really popular types of database. But for me, I recommend for you to study SQL. Okay, and to be more specific, it's either you study SQL Server, okay, Microsoft SQL Server, or you study MySQL, okay. It's both both having the same technology, but different
So you
different
recommend
platforms. Yeah, different platforms. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing you. You ask.
Okay. You recommend me study SQL
Yes, I recommend you study SQL.
and the framework, the
Yeah,
Spring.
and to be more specific, I'm telling you, you can choose either Microsoft SQL Server or MySQL.
Okay,
Both of them are very popular. And
Spring
yeah,
as well. Spring.
sorry,
Spring.
wait for me. Spring is a completely different thing. So just wait for me and let's move step by step so you'll not get confused. Okay. So by that level, when you study, when you are done with networking basics and with database basics, along with all the skills that you learn in our training together, you get more familiar with it, you practice more on it, and you get more ease working with it, okay? Along with networking and database, by that time you can say that you got all the essential skills needed for a beginner programmer, okay? So this is our common skills among all programmers, regardless of which track or which technology they are working on. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, by that point, at this point, you are done with the essentials, you are done with the basics, and you will start a completely different journey where you should decide on which track you want to work on. Okay. Okay. What are the well-known tracks or the main tracks among programmers? Let me tell you, we have kind of back-end developers, we have front-end developers, we have mobile application developers, we have desktop developers, and many others. Okay, so for you, before you continue, you should decide in which track you're gonna take. Like, you wanna be a back-end developer, you wanna be front-end, you want to be a mobile app developer. You should decide, okay? But to decide and take a correct decision that suits your interests and suit your capabilities, you should be aware about the definition and the differences between each one of them. So now, yeah, I want to ask you, like, what do you know about back-end development, front-end development, or mobile app development?
The front end is basically the interface
Yes,
and
correct,
the
correct.
buttons and stuff like that,
Yeah, on anywhere,
like JavaScript.
yeah, like anywhere on any
Mhm.
web web app or website or whatever you go. Okay,
And the back end.
the screen you see and the screen you interact with as a user. Okay, it's built up by some UI components. Okay, and the job of front end developer is to use these UI components to build the screens that you see and you
Yeah.
interact with as a user. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is
And
the
the,
front end developer. Okay. But what about the back end developer? What is the responsibility of back end developer?
it's making everything works behind the scenes. It's behind like it's the machine that the user does not see, and
Uh,
it's yeah, it's
okay.
like the
Each
it's
and
like
every aspect that make the screen uh, interactive and performing some tasks, the tasks that should be done by this screen, okay, it's
Mhm.
a responsibility of the back-end developer. Like, let me give you an example. I'm sure when you go to most of the websites, or even mobile apps or whatever, you you're asked to, you know, uh, log in or register or create a new account, right?
Right.
Yeah, so let's assume that you need to log in. So you have a login screen. Uh, what is the components of this login screen? You have two uh, input fields to enter your username and password, right? And also you have a button, okay, to click login after you enter your credentials, okay? You click login, so you assume that after logging in, you will be redirected to the home screen, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, the input field and the button, how they look, and the colors, the font, the shape, all this, okay, are the responsibility of the front end developer. Okay, you hear me?
Yeah. I hear. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So what about the back end developer? Let me tell
Mhm.
you, if the back end developer didn't do his job, okay, when you
Mhm.
enter your username and password and click login, nothing will happen. If you left the fields empty and again you click login, nothing will happen. If you enter a wrong username or password and click login, again, nothing will happen. This screen is visible, okay, but not functioning. It has no functionality. It's not performing any tasks. So it's just like a stupid static screen that do
Mhm.
nothing. You just enter your name, enter your password, regardless of how many times you click on login, nothing change. This is the part of the back-end development is missing. Okay. But when the back-end developer do his part, okay, this screen will become interactive with you and then perform the desired task expected from you as a user. Like for example, if you left the fields empty and you click login, it will validate and tell you, please enter your credentials. If you enter your a wrong password, it will also validate and tell you, please enter the correct password. Okay. Finally, when you enter your credentials correctly, username and password both are correct, and you click login, okay, you will happily navigate to the home screen. So all these are the you know uh, tasks for the backend developer. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So if you are uh, the guy who like performing logic and more interested in business logic, how the program work, how the program interacts, uh, you should become a backend developer. But if you are the guy who, you know,
UI
interested,
design.
yeah, interested in UI, you like how shapes look like on the screen, how you build different cool uh, UI components, and also go for front end developer or front-end development. Okay, so this is the back end and this is the front end. Uh, Again, we can talk about mobile applications. Mobile applications, okay, it's also a big track to know like each and every application running on any smartphone. Okay, it's like coming under the umbrella of mobile app development. Okay, and it has some uh, aspects that you should know if you decide to become a mobile app developer. Mobile app developer, uh, they are responsible for both the front end side, okay, and they still handle a part of the back end side, okay. So their job not only about the front end only or the back end only, no, they handle the front end like 100%. The mobile developer handle all the screens of the mobile app he built on his own, okay, and still part of the back end that makes this screen interactive, okay, is also responsible for it, okay. And the other part related to the back end developer, the mobile developer, is responsible to integrate, okay, between the mobile application and the back end APIs or server file or whatever. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, the mobile developer, he do like both responsibilities,
Oh, I see.
but it's focused more on the front end, focused more on the UI, because he handled it totally. It's 100% his responsibility, no one else responsibility except of him. Okay, but the business logic of the app, it's divided between the mobile app developer and the back-end developer. They are
Okay, I
both,
understand.
yeah, they both should integrate to make the mobile app functioning as you expect. Okay, you understand?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so again, the mobile app development, you still need to decide on which platform you will develop your apps into. Like we have two platforms, either Android or iOS. Okay, so each platform has its own programming language, SDK, and needed skills. So if you decide to become a mobile developer, you still have one more decision to make, which is on which platform I will design my app. Is it for Android or for iOS? Okay. Like for example, for Android, Android is written in Java or Kotlin, and Kotlin is a recent, you know, programming language and the recommended programming language for Android developers to use. Okay. You have the Android SDK, which has a complete set of libraries, APIs, classes that you need to know how to use it to build your Android app. Okay. And you will use another IDE instead of IntelliJ. For example, we used IntelliJ during our course to build our Java programs. For Android, you will use Android Studio as an IDE, and so on. Okay. On the other side, if you choose to become an iOS developer, you will develop for iOS, you need to know a language called Swift. Okay. And again, you have the iOS SDK, and you will use IDE. It's called Xcode. Okay.
I understand. Yeah, that's
So
okay.
you should decide which track you will take. And I remember you asked me before also about Flutter. So what do you know about Flutter? Let me tell you. Flutter is a new technology uh, introduced by Google to develop apps, okay, that work on both platforms, Android and iOS. And with recent updates to Flutter, and some other platforms also became supported by Flutter. So the idea behind Flutter is that with only one code base, okay, single code base, you can develop for multi-platforms. Like you can have application running on Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, whatever. Okay, all this with single code base by Flutter. So if you decide that yeah, I like the idea of Flutter that I I develop once and I run on multi-platforms. Okay, so you have to study the needed skills for Flutter. So Flutter has its own SDK as well, and it's written in programming language called Dart. So to write applications for Flutter, okay, you need to learn the Dart programming language. Dart is somehow mixed between Java and Kotlin. It's easy, okay, and you'll have a lot of fun learning Flutter if you decide to, okay?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so as I told you, at this point, you should make your decision which track you're gonna take. You should be aware of each and every uh, track, what is its pros and cons, what is the advantage and disadvantage of each track before you begin to study uh, in one of it. Okay,
Like
so you will
a
not
web.
waste. So you will not waste precious time and energy. Okay, trying to learn some frameworks related to a specific track, and after some time you will realize that it's not suitable to you. You are not interested anymore, so you have to shift from one track to another, and your
Like
time and energy will be wasted. No, I don't want you to
uh,
waste any time. That's why I'm telling you, be wise while making your decision.
mhm.
Just know more about, know in details about the tracks of programming and software, okay? And read about the advantage and disadvantage of each one of them, and also compare the needed skills of each track, okay, with your capabilities and your own personal interest. You just ask yourself, do you like it or not? If you like it, go for it. If you don't like it, please skip and try to find something else. You understand?
Yeah, like web development is nice too. I like
Like,
web dev.
yeah, yeah. You mentioned a while ago about Spring, okay?
Mhm.
So Spring, what is Spring? Spring is a framework, okay, for Java developers. So, for example, if you decide to become a back-end developer, okay, using Java, you will be Java back-end developer, okay. So after finishing our trainings, essentials, networking, and APIs, database, and all, you can start learning the framework like Spring, okay. This Spring framework, okay, will make you able to become a back-end Java developer. It has more advanced, you know, tools and libraries, packages, okay, that will help you to become to develop uh, APIs to make more complex Java programs. Okay, so this is one of the tracks you can take.
Mhm.
Uh, what else?
If I want to be a web developer,
Okay, web. developer. As I'm telling you, web is divided into front end and back end. Okay. For
Hmm.
some smaller websites, you can make both, and by this, you will be called a full stack developer. Okay. Some common technologies for front end development are uh, Angular and Vue, so you can read on some of them. But you can be a full stack developer. Okay. A full stack developer will handle both front end and back end. But on some bigger projects, it will be hard to maintain, like only one person is responsible or one job role responsible for both front end and back end. It will not be sufficient. So on a bigger project, there should be separation between front end and back end. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, what else you want to talk about?
Um, Basically, that's what it was on there. Let me see. Um, what's your recommendation for entrepreneurship?
Uh, yeah, before I forget, I want to tell you about something else. There is some important stuff that you need to do as a programmer to improve your skills and to showcase your skills to others. Okay, and we still didn't mention along our training. Like, have you heard about Git and GitHub?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you know about GitHub?
A place where you can collaborate with other programmers.
Like,
You can collaborate.
it's not like that. It's like a hosting, okay, for for programmers to publish their projects, put their code, okay, on place like GitHub. So please read about it. We didn't mention this before in our training, but I want you to learn the basic operations of Git and version control, like how
Mhm.
to share your project on, on GitHub, how to create a repo on GitHub, how to make a comment, how to push and pull a comment. So, yeah, this also is needed. I advise you to learn the basics of Git, okay? And I want you to create an account on GitHub, and then each and every project you make, I advise you to publish on GitHub.
Okay.
So this will help you. This will help you to, build a good portfolio for yourself and document all your projects, okay, in
Hmm.
one place. So, and it's needed also if you're gonna work with bigger teams, okay. Uh, this will this will be very helpful to you for team collaboration. Okay, you should be aware of version. Okay,
Yeah.
one more point that will help you professionally to create a profile on LinkedIn. You know LinkedIn?
Yeah. LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like most of us, we know that LinkedIn is a professional, platform like social media, but more formal, more professional. So I advise you to, if you don't have one, you create a profile on LinkedIn, share all your knowledge, certificates, uh, experience, uh, trainings, publications, whatever uh, makes you uh, qualified, okay, as a programmer, you can share it on your profile on LinkedIn. So this is
Okay.
also very important. Uh, uh, One more advice I want to tell you that try to, you know, socialize with some other programmers uh, in the same level of you, like some other beginners, okay, or some other more experienced uh, guys who work in tech for a few years or more or less, whatever. But try to search for events in your area about
Okay.
tech and software. Try to socialize with these people. This will give you motivation to continue and also will make you meet some more experienced guys who can give you some more valuable advice on how to move on and become more professional in your career.
Okay.
And of
And
course, during some of these events, you will get to some workshops, hands-on workshops, boot camps that will also give you hands-on experience that you really need as a beginner. So this is also an important advice.
okay.
Uh, about which business you want to do, like it's all up to you. Like I don't give you an advice about a specific business to do with your programming skills. Okay, nowadays programming and software is dominating like almost each field of our life. Okay,
Mhm.
and so whatever business you are interested in, okay, believe me, programming will help you to make this project or make this business more sufficient and more profitable to you. I can't recommend a certain business. It's all up to you. What else?
Machine learning. A machine learning.
Machine learning is a completely different thing. I
Mhm.
think you talked before about AI. AI is fast growing field. Okay, it's dominating now the tech market. Okay, uh, you need very high skills to work in AI and machine learning. You need to know about, you know, first you should begin with mathematics and uh, statistics and, some other skills that you may not have right now. Okay, it's an advanced topic, but you as a programmer, you can easily integrate many AI tools and features in your programs. Okay, you will just use the AI powerful tools in your app or in your website or whatever, and you will give the same user experience. Okay, but you don't have to do everything from scratch. Like we have already some very powerful AIs, like developed by very big tech companies like Google, like OpenAI, like Microsoft, like whatever. Okay, so you can integrate some of their tools into your project
Okay.
to give a better user experience. So you don't need to study all the AI skills to integrate an AI tool in your program. You don't need.
Right.
What else?
Data structures.
And later on, when you become more confident and you are pretty well doing pretty well as intermediate or mid-level programmer, okay, you can study algorithms and data structure because it's an advanced topic.
Okay. Oh, can you check the notes? The notes? Can you
Yeah,
check?
you like e-commerce, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you can develop many e-commerce products. Okay, by Java, okay, with the same, skills and technologies that I recommended to you during this meeting. Okay, you can use to build some cool e-commerce uh, websites uh, or apps. Okay, and you will find many uh, ready-made plugins that will make your life easy while building your app. Okay, so most e-commerce projects are almost sharing the same common features, so nothing fancy. So you'll get some, ready-made plugins that you can use in your project that will make your life easier. And after that, you can customize if you have some other features that need customization. You can do it on your
Yeah,
own.
that's more UI, right?
And listen, like about e-commerce, it's not all about UI, all about backend. Almost all projects, okay, all programming projects, divided into front-end part and back-end part. And on some small projects, as I tell you, you can do both as a full stack developer. You understand?
Yeah, full stack. Yeah.
Okay, great. What else?
Um, yeah, UI design is hard. It looks so hard.
Uh, it's not hard, but it needs someone who have a big patience, okay, and someone who pay big attention to details, okay, and someone who has some taste of art, you know. That's my opinion. Like you need patience, you need to pay attention to details, and you need to be artistic.
Okay.
Unlike the back end, needs a working brain. You should be always uh, have critical thinking and logical thinking, uh, and to set your priorities like that. This is, on the other hand, this is the needed skills for back end.
Okay. One more.
One of the you know uh, downsides of the mobile development is that you need to handle front end and back end, and even the front end, you have so many mobile phones with different screen sizes in the market, and you should handle your UI to match with almost all, not all, but the biggest number of devices and screen sizes in the market. So to make your design compatible with all these different screen sizes is a